Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we bring in a gentleman that is undefeated in the MVAC, rolling through the season and beefing up his schedule so they can go even further here as we head towards the postseason. At this time, we bring in the head basketball coach of the girls basketball team in Crestview, Aaron Blatch. What's up, coach?
Hey, guys, can you hear me now?
Got him! Yeah, baby!
All right, there we go. Hey, thanks for having me on.
No, we love having you on, Coach. I mentioned we'll start with the sappy stuff first. A few seasons ago, and it feels like a few seasons ago, but I think it was like 6 or 7 seasons ago. Um, Following the season, you sent me one of the to my personal residence. You sent me one of the kindest notes about YSN and what we do. You didn't have to do that, and that seems to be your mantra: is you do what you don't have to do, so you can have what you necessarily nobody expected you to ever have. You have taken this program to new heights, and you continue to want to take it to even further heights. What keeps you driven when you go to work every day, grab that clipboard, grab that whistle, and take this, what seems to be the area's best team, and want to make them better and better each and every time they take the floor?
Well, I mean, we have great kids, just really good people, really good players. I'm blessed to be able to work with them every day, along with the rest of our coaching staff. Just really fortunate to have you. My brother's been with me the whole time, and he's just been instrumental in all of this. And along with, John Gallagher's been with us the last several years. Cassie Spate, we've added to our high school staff this year. They both do a great job, going all the way down to, our middle school coaches and youth coaches. But, this has been a lot of fun to build. And, we're not where we want to be yet, but I feel like we're getting a little bit better every day. But it, for all of us, I think just really starts with the kids, and seeing them improve individually and collectively is very rewarding for us.
I like that you used the word build, because before you came on, I was talking about how patient you've been with the progress of this program. Kept knocking on that door of being really good a couple of years ago. And then, now here you are, last 2 years especially, you've kind of gotten to where I'm sure you envisioned this program back when you took the job. Talk about being patient through those years where you could see the culture was being set. You could see there were special things coming down the tunnel, but you had to get through that tunnel first. And you had to be able to make sure you stayed patient, kept the blinders on, and got through it. So from your perspective, what was it like to kind of see the positives kind of there and to be patient with the program?
Yeah, I mean, I think anything worthwhile is going to take some time. We've like we said, we've been fortunate, not just now, but the young women that came before our current set of ladies, put in a lot of time and kind of helped us lay the groundwork to where we want to go. I think coaching anywhere, is a challenge. I think, my colleagues at different schools would agree with that. But, we've been lucky to be in a good situation. We've had a lot of support at Crestview with, our administration and our community and, our parents and support systems. And, like I said, I mean, we're just trying to plug away and get a little bit better every day. We're by no means a finished product right now. I'm looking forward to hopefully taking another big leap between now and tournament time. But, I am proud of the progress that we've been able to make, and especially just since it's been such a collective effort, with a lot of different people contributing to this.
I mean, there's a lot of coaches that are watching your program on a weekly basis, and they sit there and they go, man, I'd love to have that player or this player or just one of them. And you have a collective of potential superstars that, Aaron, I'm not lying to you, to be able to watch it firsthand the other night and then to watch it again tonight, I'm excited because they don't play like they're superstars individually. They play in such a team, in such almost like synchronized swimming. I mean, they know where each other are. You see that the leadership on the floor kind of changes hands depending on who has the basketball. We saw Lovey out there dropping 18, and she wasn't the headline in a lot of different games. She would be the head honcho. And then you've got Addison Rhodes, who is potentially, and Anthony and I talked about it yesterday, and I hold no punches. I think she's one of the most talented athletes we have in any sport on this entire network and potentially that we've ever had. How do you keep the egos in check when it comes to things like that? I know that sometimes it's a little easier because it's girls instead of boys, but how do you keep the egos in check to understand that there's something bigger that they could accomplish together?
I think it speaks of the character of, not only those few girls that you mentioned, but just the team as a whole. I've never now, or, these last few years, we haven't really had any sense of, of jealousy or competition for shots or anything like that. One thing I think that's special about our group is that, everybody kind of brings their own unique talent. I think we have two girls that every team on the schedule has to game plan for, with Addison and Lavraine. I think their accomplishments kind of speak for themselves and are two of the absolute best players, not just now in the area, but I think in a lot of years in our area. But then beyond that, when you look at everybody kind of being able to fill a role, Breeda Cross, I think, kind of makes everything go for us. She's one of the top assist kids in Ohio right now. She pushes the pace. She helps set up those two, and along with all of our other shooters. I think Meyer Miller has had a fantastic senior season, has taken on a much bigger load defensively, as well as being a reliable shooter. Getting Ava Busey and Lexi Blower back from some injuries, they're, I think, looking better and better every game. Those are two really crucial parts of our team. Ava is not just a shooter, but also giving us some increased physicality. Lexi giving us another post presence on both ends of the floor. Kerrigan Miller has had, I think, a breakout sophomore season. She's given us some really good minutes. She's great in the press. She can shoot it. And, we've had a freshman, Brianna Baker, who, on a lot of teams, that's a varsity starter. She plays JV. She comes off the bench with the varsity. When we've had some injuries, she's been able to step into some really difficult situations and really excel, along with the rest of our younger JV girls. They're having a great year as well. So, I'm just, the whole group, I think they play well together. I think they enjoy being around one another. They like playing together. So that kind of makes our job a lot easier. But it is great to have great leadership, like you mentioned, on the floor. I know Addison in particular is, really like having a coach on the floor. She's vocal, she's encouraging, and does a great job there as well. So it's coming together nicely. Like I said, I'm excited to see where this group ends up.
We've been talking about it before you came on. The Crestview has really beefed up their schedule this year. How, Hoban, Streetsboro, Madison, Washington, how important was it to you to get those kind of teams on your schedule and to be able to expose your kids to that level of basketball?
Yeah, that was something, after last year that we really talked about. Last year, this group, we won our first 25 games. We had an undefeated regular season, lost a heartbreaker in overtime in the district final to a really good Keystone team that ended up in the Final Four. But, just to be able to better prepare our team for those sorts of moments, I think we needed to get out of our area a little bit more. We know we have a talented team. We actually sought out Akron Hoban. Coach Davis there obviously is, had phenomenal success, throughout her career. And, I reached out. I didn't have her number. We sent a huddle request at the end of last season. I said, hey, would you want to play? Knowing that, hey, that's a game that, we're going to fight like crazy to try to win, but that's certainly a game that is maybe a little bit above what we normally see, or a lot above what we normally see. So they invited us to their Hoop Fest, where we saw them in Streetsboro. Streetsboro's got an ESPN top 100 kid in the country that's going to go play at Illinois. We took them right down to the last minute, had an opportunity, couldn't quite pull it out. And then getting to play Massillon. Massillon has a great team as well. I think on the court, they've only lost one game. They had kind of a eligibility issue where they had to forfeit a few, but we wanted to schedule with the big picture in mind, and obviously as a competitor, I hate to lose. Our kids hate to lose, but like it's all right to lose a game or two. I mean, it's not the end of the world when you're challenging yourself. And we hope that we're going to be better for those experiences, and that's going to pay off come tournament time.
Naturally, coach, as a leader, if you're going to battle through adversity, whether it's in the record books, whether it's your wins and losses, or whether it's the outside chatter, there's been a lot of outside chatter about what the scoreboard has read, whether it's one side or the next. How do you battle through that? I mean, because you're just trying to do your job. You're doing what's best for your program. Obviously, showcasing sportsmanship along the way. We've seen that in all of your years, Aaron. And then, but to have the conversation continue, sometimes you just can't do right. And it's the outside noises. How do you keep them outside and not let them into your boat, so to speak?
Yeah, I mean, at times we've been in kind of a difficult spot. We recognize that, again, we're fortunate to have a lot of talent, and we do have a lot of kids that are capable of putting up some points. We certainly are also cognizant of the importance of, respecting our opponent. We fully respect every opponent that we have in sportsmanship. I do think we need to be careful though, because like if we take every league game and just say, well, hey, we're not going to play real hard tonight, or we're going to barely play our kids tonight. Like I don't think that's fair to our kids. And two, I don't think that's the way to get better and to continue to build. So, I mean, we need to play hard. We need to play the style that we feel like we want to play that could lead to success in the bigger games. We've really prioritized doing that. And I know sometimes people will look at scores and will criticize that. That's fine. I mean, that's part of it. But I feel like we're handling things the best way that we can. I think that our girls are getting better. A lot of our younger JV girls have had opportunities in a lot of games this year, to get some extra varsity time, which I think is going to be valuable next year and beyond. We're certainly going to need some of those girls to move up into bigger spots. And, and when they get in the game, we want them to be able to play and play well, not just dribble the clock out for the last 7-8 minutes of the game either. So it is a difficult spot. I know that some of the schools around us are kind of rebuilding a little bit, and listen, we've been there and are certainly respectful of that as well. But we don't worry too much about the outside stuff. I mean, again, I think I give this group a lot of credit in that, I think they come to every game, they come to every practice just with the mindset of we need to get better. So that's just what we're trying to do.
Coach, it's easy to know that the winter weather has hit us hard especially this last month. You've probably missed a couple of practices that you thought you'd have. You've definitely had to postpone games. Just mess with the routine a little bit as a coaching staff and as a team. How have you managed that, navigated that, and kind of kept everything routine as possible with cancellations and postponements?
Yeah, I mean, it's part of being in a winter sport. That's certainly part of it. One thing, I mean, we have more girls right now, being that we are a little bit older and more experienced than what we have been some years. We have more girls that drive now, and I'll be honest, we tend to prioritize just safety. I don't want them out driving on the road when things are bad. There's been a day or two where I think the school probably would have let us come into practice, but it just makes me a little bit nervous with 16, 17-year-olds on the road under less than ideal conditions. So we've had a few off days. Honestly, at this point of the year, if we don't know what we're doing by now, we're probably not going to figure it out. So taking an occasional off day, I don't think is the end of the world. Obviously from a coaching perspective, there's always more that you want to improve at and install and all that. But I think maybe taking a day here and there to just kind of rest their legs. Yesterday, we just went with the snow day. We just went and kind of had team brunch, just went out to eat and hung out a little bit together. We didn't do anything on the court. But it can be frustrating at times, especially when you're trying to game plan for particular opponents. But I know pretty much everybody's probably in the same boat right now.
When you look at the roster that you have right now. We talked about your seniors. Obviously, we talked about the talent that you have. The team camaraderie that this team particularly has. Do you ever have those intimate conversations about urgency and how special this group can be to write a legacy that might be another 2, 3, 4 decades before we ever see this kind of talent and this kind of potential on one particular roster?
Yeah, I mean, it's not something we've talked about a lot, but I do think our girls understand. I think our seniors in particular understand that, I know Meyer Miller has brought up a couple times, like, we only have so many more of these opportunities left. The regular season's kind of winding down, and I know that can kind of be an emotional thing for, for a senior in any sport or activity. It's certainly, I've, even talk to our coaching staff here and there about like, it's not always going to be like this, so some of the kids that we have now are not kids you're just getting in every year, they're coming up through the program every year. So, we're fortunate. I think we understand that we all have the responsibility as players and as coaches to try to maximize this run the best that we can. Because I think we have a lot of pieces in place here to really do a lot of special things.
Now, Coach, we talked about this yesterday about Abby Imps on the volleyball side. I'm wondering how much in her younger years were you trying to let's get on the basketball court? Let's try to use that, because we kind of dreamed of a world where she also played basketball and had a passion for that sport too. What kind of things? I mean, were those conversations ever had between you and her in her younger years?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, Abby's a great girl. Comes from a really great family. I mean, she played basketball growing up, 4th, 5th, 6th grade. Her mom actually was one of our youth coaches, but I know they felt like, come about 7th grade, she kind of needed to make a decision. I don't think many student athletes probably need to make that decision, but in her case, obviously she, made a choice that was good for her. I mean, like her, when you're talking, a potential high level Division I player, that was kind of where her aspirations were. And, obviously it's worked out for her, I mean, and if you look at kind of Addison on our side, that is in all likelihood going to be, a very good Division I player. I'm sure there's other sports, around campus that would love to have her as well, but her ambition is on the basketball court. So, it works both ways. We would have loved to have had Abby, but I think, looking at her success and volleyball success and our success, I think it's probably worked out fine for everybody.
Pun intended. I want you to picture a world where in that paint, you've got Lovey and you got Abby, and you guys are Sherwin-Williams because you just own that paint everywhere you go.
Don't upset me now. You're making me sad. So certainly, I mean, she's so athletic, she would excel, I think, at just about anything, just like several of our girls, would as well. But I'm really happy for Abby, and definitely wishing her good luck at Pitt.
Coach, we can't thank you enough. Can't wait to see you tonight. The most entertaining team in the entire network. Certainly going to be on full display tonight when you take on Liberty. Thanks for your time. We appreciate you. You're always welcome here on the show, and certainly anything we can do for you. Brother, you got it.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate you guys letting me kind of spotlight our program and our girls, and looking forward to seeing you tonight.
All right, Coach. Thank you so much. There you go.